Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United. So there's lots of topics to go through, but I am just going to be giving you an update on Antoine Greizeman. I think I did give you the news regarding Antoine Greizeman, was it the other week? But some more additional information is updated about him. Now, according to the French football expert, this is stemming from a journalist called Julien Laurens, and he believes that Antoine Greizeman would be only interested in making a move to Manchester United if Paul Pogba was to remain at the football club. Now, there is uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future at the moment. Obviously, Paul Pogba and Antoine Greizeman have got a really good, friendship, because they do know each other well because they are both French. Now, so it did actually, say Antoine Greizeman will only consider joining Manchester United if Paul Pogba stays. Now, I think quite a few clubs have expressed their interest in Antoine Greizeman. The other week, he said that Arsenal had expressed their interest. I think the likes of there's been a few clubs that have been in there for him. Could he possibly come to the Premier League, Antoine Greizeman? Up until this point, Antoine Greizeman has spent the entirety of his career in Spain. Obviously, he has been at Barcelona now for around... This is his first season, actually, with Barcelona. Barcelona did pay around 120 million euros for him, which equates to around 108 million in pounds sterling. So, Greizeman is the fourth joint most expensive player, and I think he has got a contract with Barcelona until 2024. But Barcelona are looking to sell him this summer. I think Barcelona have confirmed that they would want in the 90 odd million pound range, if they were to sell him. But I don't think, Barcelona will recoup the £108 million that they paid for him from Atletico Madrid last summer. Now, obviously, Griezmann has endured a very difficult time at Barcelona. He's totally comparison, to how he was, when he was at Atletico Madrid, because I thought he endured 5 great years with Atletico Madrid, did Antoine Greizeman. He was there 5 years, yeah. He scored, 133 goals in 257 appearances in all competitions. Obviously, he did really well under Diego Simeone's guidance. Before he was at Atletico Madrid, he was at Real Sociedad, Antoine Greizeman. I think he's now, 29 or 30 years of age. But yeah, Manchester United are still in there for him. I think a lot of United fans will be very sceptical that will sign Antoine Greizeman in the summer transfer window. Now, revert back to 3 years ago, back in 2017, Manchester United were really close to getting Antoine Greizeman on the board. But obviously, due to Atletico Madrid's transfer ban at the time, it stopped us, from getting the pursuit of Antoine Greizeman, because we were supposedly, we were supposed to get him for around, £100 million or something like that. And don't forget, Man United were willing to offer him that number 7 shirt. And like I've said, we've had so many good number 7s up and down the generations. Obviously, as you all know, we're considering giving Jadon Sancho the number 7, but I also believe that Griezmann would do really well in the number 7. But Griezmann, revert back to what I said, he'd be excited about the prospects of coming to Man United if Paul Pogba stays, because I think, him alongside Paul Pogba in our team, they would complement each other fantastically well. But if Pogba is to leave the football club, then Manchester United will not get the pursuit of Antoine Griezmann. And he is predominantly a striker, is Greizeman, and of course Manchester United are in search for a striker. Don't get me wrong, we have got a lot of good attacking players. Obviously, you've got the likes of Anthony Martial. He's recently rejuvenated himself as a Manchester United player. And Martial now is into his 5th season at the football club. And don't get me wrong, he's endured some difficult spells as a Manchester United player, especially under Jose Mourinho, and he's sustained a lot of injuries this season, so you can say that's taken its toll on him. But he scored 15 or 16 goals, this season. Scored over 60 goals for the football club since his arrival from Monaco. I think we saw the best of Anthony Martial in his debut season when we recommended him in under the Louis van Gaal era. But he's only 24 years of age. This season he has been operating in that number 9, even though he does predominantly play out on the left. But I've been very pleased with him recently. Obviously, we've got Marcus Rashford. Obviously, he's due back in a couple of weeks, is Marcus Rashford, so there's been a lot of positivity coming out regarding that, because Rashford's been out with this back injury since our win against Wolves in the FA Cup, and you've got to say he has been a big miss as Rashford, because he was one of our best players earlier on in the season. You know, Rashford scored over 60 senior goals for the club in just over 200 appearances since he broke into the senior squad back in 2016. Rashford's 22 or 23 years of age now. I think Solskjaer does prefer him on the left rather than playing Rashford centrally, but when the season does resume, I do believe, that Rashford will be back. But like I mentioned, I think, Odi Nagalo is a really, really good cover-up for Marcus Rashford, and like I've said before, Odi Nagalo is totally comparison to our other attacking players. Like I mentioned, is an option of a different type of centre forward. He can create chances, he can score goals. His hold-up play seems to be very, very good. And even if we do decide to get Odi Nagalo on a permanent transfer, Manchester United still need another striker in there. Obviously, it's revealed how much it will cost Man United to get Odi Nagalo on a permanent transfer. It will cost us around £15 million. Obviously, we've paid around 3 or 4 million to get him on loan. Don't forget, we got him on a 6-month loan, and Man United are paying a third of his wages. It's likely we'll extend his loan until June the 30th due to the coronavirus pandemic. Obviously, his current loan spell ends on the 31st of May, as does Odi Nagalo's. But Odi Nagalo's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career, 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, and also provided quite a few assists. But yeah, very, very good player. And obviously, Shanghai Shenhua, his parent club, don't forget Sky Sports confirmed the other day that they're willing to offer him £400,000 a week before tax, plus a 2-year contract extension with that, to convince him to turn down a permanent move to Manchester United. But I think Igalo revealed the other week that he's even willing to take a pay cut to remain at Manchester United and that. So probably, likely that, we will get him on a permanent transfer. We've also got Mason Greenwood as well. That's also a very, very good attacking player. This is his first season properly in the senior squad. Greenwood is a backup because he seldom starts in the Premier League, Mason Greenwood, but he tends to start more in the cup games as Greenwood. But going on into, next season, that I'd like to see Mason Greenwood start more in the Premier League, because I think in next year or two, he'll emulate to Rashford's level, probably will end up overtaking Marcus Rashford. But you've also got Greenwood that can play in the number 9, you can also play him out wide. We've also got Daniel James. He can play on each flank. He can also play him as attacking mid. But that you see the best of Daniel James on that left-hand side. And we knew that, obviously, before we recommended him into Man United. Because when he was at Swansea, vast majority of the time he was playing on that left-hand side. There's some aspects of his game that need to improve, such as his tracking back and his crossing. But prior to that, he doesn't really need to improve much, because I think he's done really, really well for Man United. Hasn't been so good, though, in the last couple of months. So, yeah, we've got a lot of attacking options, but it doesn't change my perception. Manchester United still need a striker. So would you like to see Antoine Greizeman get recommended in? Because we basically need a replacement for Romelu Lukaku. So let's just put that into the equation. I think there's been around a good 4 or 5 strikers on our agenda, not only Antoine Greizeman, also too Harry Kane. He's been a striker, another striker on our agenda. Now, I just want to say to you, I think it's likely that Harry Kane will quit Tottenham this summer. And Alan Shearer's give his overarching view on the speculation regarding Kane, and he believes that, Kane will leave Tottenham. He believes if Tottenham don't win anything next year, if he is to remain with them in the summer, he will go next year, will Harry Kane. Because Harry Kane has been at Tottenham for several years. He's been in their senior squad since 2011, and he hasn't won anything in terms of silverware. And a player of Kane's calibre wants to be competing, he wants to be in Champions League football, he wants to be winning silverware, and he isn't enjoying this with Tottenham. So this is what has really infuriated the player. I think he's been in Tottenham's senior squad since he was the age of 16. But yeah, a lot of people believe Kane will quit Tottenham this summer. But like I said on my video the other day, it's unlikely that Manchester United will sign him. I just don't see it happening. Obviously, Tottenham have quoted out how much they want, and they do want around £150 million. Now, that figure would make him the most expensive player in the Premier League. in the Premier League. Probably like the third most expensive player in the world. But for £150 million, we could probably get around 2 or 3 players, for £150 million rather than spending it on one player. Because like I mentioned, these cheaper solutions out there than Harry Kane. Don't get me wrong, Harry Kane is a world-class player and he's definitely Tottenham's best player without a shadow of a doubt, and Tottenham do know how much of an imperative player he is. But obviously, Tottenham can't win anything in terms of silverware this season because they're no longer in the FA Cup. They're not in the FA Cup. They're not in the Champions League. So Tottenham's ambition will be, when the season does resume, is to finish 5th so they can get qualification for next season's Champions League. But I'm very, very sceptical about that happening. But yeah, definitely Kane feels unhappy. But yeah, Man United is still in there for him. I think we've been relentlessly linked to him for the past 5 years. Obviously, Real Madrid have been long admirers of him. I think he said Juventus and City have also expressed an interest. I think that it's more likely he'll go to Madrid or Juventus over Man United, or Man City will Kane. Maybe he will not want to continue applying his trade in the Premier League, but he's been in the Premier League for several years. The good news is, from a Tottenham perspective, that Kane, he said the other day that he's close to first team training, because obviously he's been out with a hamstring injury for a couple of months, and when the season does resume, Harry Kane will be back. Don't forget, back in the summer of 2018, Kane signed a 6-year deal with Tottenham. And I think he signed a 6-year deal with around £200,000 a week, did Harry Kane. And as it stands, he's still got 4 years remaining on his contract. But like I mentioned to you, Daniel Levy, who's obviously the Tottenham chairman, he's a very, very, good businessman. Also, the element of concern about him, though, he's a really, really hard negotiator when it comes to trying to recruit any of Tottenham's players. And don't forget, we've done business with Tottenham in the past. Got Berbatov off them, got Michael Carrick off them. Carrick enjoyed around 12 years at Manchester United. And Tottenham know that obviously, they have recruited quite a few good players in the last couple of windows. Obviously, they've got Gedson Fernandes and Steven Bergwijn. They're Mourinho's first two signings. And they recruited quite a few good players in under the Mauricio Pochettino era. I think Tottenham did make a mistake by getting rid of Mauricio Pochettino. But they've also, let players go. Christian Eriksen left in January. He went to Inter Milan after he served 7 years with Tottenham. They let Danny Rose go out on loan to Newcastle. They also, back in 2013, they let Bale go. Don't forget, they also let Luka Modric go to Real Madrid. So Tottenham have had some decent players up and down the generations. But Kane is Tottenham's third highest goal scorer in their history, behind Bobby Smith and Jimmy Greaves. So would you like to see Harry Kane at Manchester United? Like I mentioned, Kane and Rashford know each other well because they are both English, but I'm very, very sceptical that Kane will join Manchester United in the summer. He's being urged by a few other people, to remain at Tottenham. But, don't forget, I'm not going to fully disregard Kane coming to Man United, because revert back to, the Robin Van Persie saga. That looked as though at one point we weren't going to get Robin Van Persie, but look what happened. We ended up getting Robin Van Persie, got him from North London, and look what he did for Manchester United. You can say, reflect on the amount of goals he scored for us back in 2013. You can say he won us the league. He did win us the league in Alex Ferguson's last season and that. But like I've reverted back to what I said earlier on, there's cheaper solutions than Harry Kane who we could get. You've got Timo Werner, that would be available for around £50 or £51 million. You've got Aubameyang from Arsenal. He'd cost 3 times less than Kane because he's available for around £50 million. So what striker would you want to see come to Man United? Greizeman, he's cheaper than Harry Kane. He's at least £50 million cheaper because Barcelona would want in the 90 odd or 100 odd million pound range for Antoine Greizeman. But do let me know in the comments below. So that's the latest news on that. By the way, guys, I also want to give you some news on Koulibaly from Napoli. I think I was updating you about Koulibaly the other week. Now, I've just been reading recent reports about Koulibaly, and it does say that Manchester United are emerged as one of the favourites to go on and sign Koulibaly in the summer. Reportedly now we've moved ahead of Manchester City in the race for his signature. Now, don't forget, Koulibaly recently told the Napoli president that he does want to leave Napoli in the summer. If Napoli qualify for the Champions League, then maybe in that aspect that could convince him to stay. Now, it's been revealed how much Koulibaly will cost. It will probably cost around £80 million. That's the exact same fee as what we paid for Harry Maguire from Leicester last summer. Harry Maguire, of course, is the most expensive centre-half in the world and the second most expensive signing at the football club, just behind Pogba and that. That figure, though, the £80 million for Koulibaly, is totally comparison to the one last summer, because last summer I think they revealed that they wanted around £150 million, and that figure is double than what Liverpool paid for Virgil van Dijk. And Koulibaly is a very, very good centre-half, but he's nowhere near on the level of Virgil van Dijk. I think we had a couple of bids turned down for Koulibaly, was it last summer? I think we had, was it a £70 million bid turned down? We once had a £95 million bid turned down for him. Obviously, Koulibaly has never ever played in the Premier League, and who's to say he wouldn't come to the Premier League and be a flop? But I've got to admire him because I think he's done very, very well in Italy. I think this is now, what, his sixth season, is it, with Napoli? Sixth season now, yeah. I think has he got a release clause in his contract? I need to delve into that a bit more. I think he's under contract with Napoli until 2023. But Napoli, if they were to get 80 million for him, they'd make a huge profit on the player. Because didn't they only pay around £6 or £7 million for him from Genk? Before he was at Genk, he began his career with Metz, did the player. I think Koulibaly is around 29 or 30 years of age. And I think, we are still looking to get a centre-half in. I think it's more essential that we get a centre-forward, a right winger and a central midfielder, but I still think we are looking to bring a centre-half in, even though we have got a lot of centre-halves in the team at the moment. You've got Maguire and Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. Got to admire Harry Maguire because I think he's had a fantastic start to his Man United career. Also, Victor Lindelof, now into his third season at Manchester United. Didn't really settle in his first season when we recommended him in from Benfica. We paid 30 million for him from Benfica, but I've got to say, last season, this season, a lot of aspects of his game have improved. We've got backup centre-halves now. You've got Bailly, that's just come back from injury. Very, very good centre-half, Bailly, and I think Bailly could end up taking over Victor Lindelof. We paid £30 million for Bailly from Villarreal, and also to Anzebe, he's just come back from injury, and he's also a backup. Luke Shaw's played at centre-half a couple of times this season when Man United have obviously gone with three at the back. But, do you think it would be beneficial to recommend Koulibaly? And don't get me wrong, I would be excited about the prospect of Koulibaly playing alongside Maguire in our back line. What a centre-back partnership that would be. But yeah, it will cost Man United quite a lot of money, will Koulibaly and that. So reportedly, we have got a chance of getting him in this summer. But a lot of people will be sceptical about this. This may be on this certain story, the media just basically justifying their existence, but I'm just basically reacting to what I've obviously read in the mainstream media regarding this narrative and that. But yeah, so that's the latest news on him. But the signings that Manchester United are likely to make in the summer. The likely signings that Manchester United are going to make in the summer. Jadon Sancho now obviously looks very, very imminent. Again, Jadon Sancho is going to cost us a hell of a lot of money because Borussia Dortmund have come out and confirmed how much they want for Jadon Sancho, and they want around £100 million at least. We'll probably end up paying around £120 million for the player. So obviously, that figure would make him the most expensive player at the club and a record signing in the Premier League. He has made his decision. He wants to leave Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season, and he wants to come to Manchester United. His preference is a move to Manchester United over Chelsea's is Jadon Sancho's. But the likes of Chelsea, Real Madrid, Liverpool, PSG, all of them clubs have expressed their interest in Jadon Sancho. But I just think he wants to come to Manchester United. I just think he wants to come to Manchester United, does Jadon Sancho. And as you all know, the Borussia Dortmund chefs, they confirmed that Man United have beaten Chelsea and Liverpool to the signing of Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano, Italian journalist, came out not too long ago and said Man United have been in contact with his agent for months and Man United are working on his contract. And I think Man United are going to be determined to offer Jadon Sancho around £200,000 a week. So that's the exact same fee as what Marcus Rashford's on. And don't forget, it would be beneficial to get Sancho in because, like I mentioned, he's got a good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Also, he's an admirer of Mason Greenwood. He's also an admirer of Anthony Martial. But we've been relentlessly linked with Jadon Sancho. Don't forget, we was relentlessly linked to him last year. But the main explanation why we didn't get him last year is because we failed to qualify for the Champions League. So this is why we didn't get Jadon Sancho last year. But he wants to leave Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season. Borussia Dortmund have come to accept the fact that he wants to leave to rejuvenate his career. And Jadon Sancho is now into his third season as a Borussia Dortmund player. Was dropped in a lot of games early on in the season, but I think since his arrival in Germany, I've got to say he has been a revelation. Still got around 2 years left on his contract with Borussia Dortmund. But, you know, Borussia Dortmund will look at it from a financial point of view. Of course, they are going to get a lot of money for his. They're going to make a huge profit on his departure, sorry, and a lot of money. You know, they're going to make a massive profit. They're selling for 100 mil, they're going to make a 92, 93 million profit. Selling for 120 mil, they're going to make 112 or 113 million pound profit. Because they only paid 7 or 8 million pounds for him from Man City. And he, you know, it's beneficial for him coming back to the Premier League. It's very beneficial for him. He enjoyed 2 years at Man City, but never really got any first team opportunities at Manchester City, did the player. Sancho's only 20 years of age. He's only 20 years of age, is Sancho. He was 20 recently. And he would fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's transfer strategy perfectly. And, you know, we've got a lot of young players in the squad as it stands at the moment. So put that into the equation. And Solskjaer has promoted the youth really well. So that's something, you know, I've got to really credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for. So yeah, I'm very convinced Man United will sign Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window. I already gave you the news regarding Jack Grealish earlier on, didn't I? And that. So that's the latest on all of that. Also want to give you some news now on Angel Gomes. I've been keeping up to date with Angel Gomes, haven't I, on a regular basis. Manchester United, as you all know, have renewed contract talks with Angel Gomes. We have offered him a new contract worth in the region of £30,000 a week. It's £25,000 with add-ons included. Plus, we've added an option of a third year. It's a 2-year offer with an option of a third year, yeah, but the previous offer was a 2-year with an offer of £25,000 a week, but Angel Gomes was not satisfied about this. Even if we do get him this new contract, you know, Man United could still loan him out. So obviously, you know, he gets more opportunities next season because he's seldom played this season under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as Angel Gomes. He's only played 10 times in the first team for the club. 6 of those appearances have come this season. He's, I think he's been in our senior squad since like 2017 as Angel Gomes. First player to be born in the 2000s to make a Premier League appearance. Youngest player to represent Man United since Duncan Edwards back in the 1950s. And Angel Gomes has so far spent the entirety of his career with the club. He's been a United player since the age of 8 and he is now the age of 19. But Solskjaer still believes that Angel Gomes' future lies at the club. Don't forget Chelsea have been in for Angel Gomes. But another thing I've been very actually not impressed with, that, you know, under the Solskjaer era, we've also extended a lot of players' contracts, haven't we? You know, we extended quite a lot of players' contracts, you know, last year as well, didn't we? You know, obviously, you know, the most recent player we give a new contract to was Chong. He signed a 2-year deal with an option of a further year. So that was very good. And Chong's also seldom played, but he still had more minutes under his belt than Angel Gomes. We got Chong from Fernand back in 2016. Also to, you know, Matic, we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract the other week, reflecting on his good run of performances, because at one point it was looking very imminent that Matic was going to be leaving the football club. But we did trigger that 1-year extension on his contract, so he's going to be staying at least for another season. Matic is now into his 3rd season at the club. Don't forget, we got him for £40 million from Chelsea. That's how much Man United paid for him. I've had strong reservations about him, but recently he has done really well. Don't forget as well, Mason Greenwood, didn't he sign a new contract earlier on this season with the football club? So we made the right decision there. And, you know, Rashford, he signed a new deal last year. He signed, was it a 4-year contract with an option of a further year? He's on around 200 grand a week. We also know Martial, he signed a new long-term contract last year. Yes, he did. Luke Shaw a couple of years ago, what, didn't he sign a 5 or a 5.5 year contract? Lindelof signed a contract earlier on in the season. We saw De Gea, he signed a new long-term contract last year, worth £375,000 a week. Didn't McTominay also signed one as well. He signed one. Mata, he also signed one last year. He signed a 2-year contract with an option of a further year. So we have, you know, extended a lot of players' contracts, you know, recently. So that is a positive, you know, you can definitely take. Maybe we could still get Paul Pogba a new contract at the club. I think it's probably likely we'll trigger that 1-year extension on Paul Pogba's contract. I don't know whether he's going to be staying like I mentioned, or I don't know if Paul Pogba is going to be leaving Manchester United, but we shall see. As I give you my update on my other videos today, obviously, you know, today has been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 1-year anniversary as permanent Manchester United manager. Obviously, I give you my overall analysis on it. You know, I pinpointed the positives that I've taken so far from his tenure, and I've pinpointed the negatives, some of the negatives that I've taken from his tenure. Don't really need to reiterate it again because it's on my 2 previous videos that I've done earlier on today and that. But yeah, so that's the news on Greizeman, that's the news on Kane, that's the news on Koulibaly, and also that's the news on Angel Gomes and everything else to update you with. So anyway guys, drop me comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.